Good morning. Good morning. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, May 5th, 2021, Wednesday, May 5th, 5/5/21, 31. This is 5 plus 5 plus 21. Topic is civil field engineering, designs, construction, methods, contracts, AnnexSL, organizations, communications, coordination, quantity and why quantity, quality and why quality. And this talk is like that. Every day, to some extent, I share my views about quality with all world. This talk is for me very important because quality is a necessity. It's not simply assurance, it is a requirement, and it's a part of quantity, it's a part of soul of material, it's a part of soul of ourselves. And we have to be very serious about this issue. But are we serious? That point is very important. Are we serious or without being serious? That's point I am interested to share with you, that quality is quality, designs, construction, and all activities, statements, times, performance, reliability, risk, and whatever is involved to achieve that must be very much concerned and understood. Most important is engineering, and on top of that is our life. If there is no life, there can be no engineering, and engineering means life as a whole. Life as a whole and engineering as a whole. I don't want to move away from general talk. I just want to keep in view that what we want to achieve in this world without quality, and what does quality mean. Are we happy with what we have, and what is construction and controls, and what are project designs, etc., etc. All this we have to understand and go through in this talk. It's very important point. I talked about all this yesterday, and we were at conduct award. Then I was at some other points. We have to discuss all this important issue, important topic. Before going into elaboration of my mind, I will like to just talk a brief on COVID-19. COVID-19 is serious, very very serious, of many serious issues that currently our Bharat has been facing. There is no solution till now. Only people are losing their lives, they are giving their lives, you can say, without fault of people, those who are losing their lives, and without fault of those who have been suffering from COVID-19 currently, and that suffer in future. It's very you can say, dark issue to talk with, because it is something that we never bothered about. We knew it, that this is attack on us, but we never bothered about this attack to encounter. So I can say it is mistake of nation that we have been suffering, and we means all, but I am not concerned with very rich people as well as very next to rich. I am concerned with those who cannot afford to pay for treatment, who cannot do, who cannot make expenses towards COVID-19 problem. And that is where I talk of. It is easy to say, and we can say, it is easy to speak and we can speak everything, but COVID-19 is friend of none. It is friend of none and it is friend of none. And do we understand what we talk of? COVID-19 is very, very serious issue we should think of, and it doesn't mean that COVID-19 remains with us or doesn't remain with us for long, but it has caused certain problems in this country, and this cannot be just solved by people. It just cannot be solved by those who think we are. COVID-19 is giving us too many red lines that we should be serious about. It's giving us danger in every affair. It's giving us that we never expected of, and we never did it. So I can say COVID-19 is something that we may say it is godly or not godly, but we may say that it is certainly godly now, because we are not able to do anything to solve it. COVID-19 is killing us, and we are being killed by it without any fault of us. COVID-19, which is something that we should be responsible for ourselves. We are responsible for this. Nobody else is responsible for this. To be very frankly speaking, it is we that have responsible. We never cared, particularly our people in this country who were excited over it's nothing, and it has now brought us to a level where I don't depend on what government information is. They daily publish some information, or government of this country, ministry publishes information, what are number of cases total and what are new cases, how many people have lost lives due to COVID. That is formality sake, but if you see reality, I have been following this since August 31, 2020, just having an interest as an analyst, an engineer, what is happening, what's going to happen. And I'm not claiming anything on that, because I use only official data that is provided by government. In this regard, there is no other source that I should be dependent upon. That is only source, and I have no reason not to believe that as far as data is concerned. As far as data is concerned, and I think it's good to believe that. Otherwise, you can say that we can stand nowhere in that regard. So that's my point of concern. That's my points of concern. We have to be with COVID. To how far we can say we can trust it, that depends on. But as far as considered, we have to trust this. There is no other way, and there is no meaning that we cannot trust it. We have to trust it. Well, now I have analyzed this data. Generally speaking, in this month of April, if you take month of January, both distance January to April, you will find a lot difference. There was a time when people started thinking that it doesn't exist anymore, but that is false thinking, false contemplation. I don't know reason, even on what basis government of this country started saying that this doesn't exist anymore. Well, That was really untoward thinking. We should not think like that. You cannot say that this is gone because it never went. It never ever happened this COVID had gone. They are publishing that's every day around 3,500 now. And if you see news, if you see videos published on YouTube, I've gone through many such publications and understood, or you can say had or done a kind of assessment that if cases they are saying somewhere around 3.5 to 4 lakhs a day, that's what government saying. This means 3,500 people lose their lives, and 4 lakhs people say on an average are contracting or contracted COVID every day. Do you believe it? Percentage of those who contract COVID out of those who are tested, this is about 20% on an average. If you think this month, 20% an average, that is what their data says. Not my data, it's their data. And 20% means if you apply this on whole nation population, 20% can mean 13 into 2 is 26. Means 26 crore people might have contracted COVID-19 according to this, because this has been moved into whole society for 1 year. So if 25 to 30 crore people have contracted this, then how you can believe that only 20 crore people or 30 crore people have been suffering, or you can say have been tested only 22%. 22% people only have you can say they have contracted. I mean, say they have been tested. 22% people have been tested till now. If you consider since March 2020, means it's now May, means in 13 months. In 13 months, if our nation is not strong enough in its capability to test all population, 14 months period in current scenario is quite considerable. In 13 months period, if we cannot even test our population of COVID-19, how can you expect something else? That's my point. This data is misleading. As my calculation, I can say that 25 to 30 crore people have been suffering now, which is not known on papers, which is not known in data. And so many people suffer or may suffer, both ways are there. So I can say about 10 lakhs to 18 lakhs somewhere, 10 lakhs to 18 lakhs individuals somewhere every day must suffer, and that should continue for a period of 6 months, so that we have 25 to 30 crores, which can further multiply to 40 to 50 crores if nothing happens. And nothing is happening. We have 130 crore population. We should have accordingly hospitals, beds, all facilities, all requirements we should have, but we don't have. What does it mean? It means we are not careful people. We are not serious people. Forget politicians. Politicians have a role to do, but they are not able to do. People have to do. They too are not serious. And people makes country. People means country. And if people are not serious, no country can be serious. It is people who make politicians, and if people are not serious, politicians can never be serious. This is situation in our country, Bharat, India currently, and I every day post on Facebook about this data. I I I put my file on script.com and use link on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, so that we people of India, as many as we can at least see that there is no analysis done by any agency of government or of otherwise. All these analysts in press, in TV, they do not exist, I think. Even if they exist, they do not work. It's some kind of mathematics we have to understand. Sorry, my throat problem, I think. Well, we have to understand all these. COVID-19 is a game now, game in a way that they always claim we have to win it, but they don't know how to win it. Yesterday I was watching one interview by official person through wire, in which it was indicated that this scientific body had written to another scientific body, who have further written to government about their concern on COVID-19, and this was transacted in March beginning. It was anticipated COVID would impact like this, but nobody took it seriously because government and ministers had been busy in conducting elections, which is more important than lives of people. You go to cremation grounds, you go to graveyards, you will find bodies and bodies and bodies. Every day, I understand 10 to 15,000 people are losing their lives, and I understand that at least, if not more, at least 10 lakh people are contracting COVID-19 every day. This is fact of life, and this also fact that lockdown may not help to that extent as it should help, because critical time has come in and we did not avoid this time. Had we avoided critical time, we would have seen different scenario. It's what I say, COVID-19 has brought us, or we have brought it, you can say either way. I blame ourselves, I blame my country, that we are responsible for COVID-19. I write, I speak, I communicate to people that don't be free mind, take your care. They do not take care. Unfortunately, I walk sometimes on road just to see what's happening, and some people have started wearing masks. I can say it's little better than before, when people starting hearing that 3 to 3.5 lakhs or 4 lakhs people have started suffering every day. There is some seriousness, but still young people and children, they are enjoying life without using PPEs, or you can say without using mask or goggles. They are not doing that. This is bad for our society. We should be serious. We know we cannot do anything else other than this. There's no way out. Vaccination is some part way out, but not full way out, and that too is not efficiently done. Till now, only 10% or 12% people in both phases of 1 and 2 injection have been vaccinated in about, you can say, 3 months or more, 100 days. If we can do only 12% in 100 days, so you can say multiply by 8 times, so 800 days we need for that, and that is complete nonsense. We have no program for testing of people, and we have no program for vaccination. In fact, we are not ready to encounter COVID-19. We are not ready in any respect, you can say. We are only ready to be infected, and we are only ready to be invited by death. That's a fact. I would only say at this stage, because there is no solution, we have to be very strict about our conduct towards COVID-19. We should resort to all measures that we can do. We can, we can do, we can do that, and we should be very much concerned about that. This COVID-19 has come, and it's not going to go tomorrow. It may take years if I am not a scientist of COVID-19, but I understand numbers, and it's going to work efficiently. It shall deceive all time, and we cannot be subjective towards vaccination also, because vaccination is not final answer. Similarly, testing is not final answer. Only answer is that we have to check everything. If we have to check, if we have to test every day about 1 crore people, but we are testing only 14 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 19 lakhs, like that. Not, we are not, we are not testing even 20% of requirement. So if you do not test people, how can we know that so many people have contracted? That's a big question mark. It's no criticism of anything. We are not efficient country. We have no plannings of any requirement. We don't know what we have to do, and without this, I am from engineering field, and I understand without system, without testing, we cannot decide on anything. Doctors have been suffering, nurses have been suffering, medical world has been suffering. They have been struggling a lot, and they are fed up now in these days, because doctor can help patients, nurses can help patients, provided equipment are available, oxygen is available, beds are available, and you can say other facilities are available. Only then these practitioners, these professionals who are saviors of ourselves can do something. But if they themselves die, what shall happen? We can imagine. That's very important point. I'm not boasting about anything. I'm just trying to tell that do not be very dreamy, Do not dream that it will go itself. Yes, it can go itself in faith only. Yes, because it is not individual act, this is God's act. You can say now, human has not found any answer in last 14 months. No scientist can claim today, no doctor can claim today, or no biologist can claim today, or biologist can claim today that this was the reason of this virus and this is solution for this. Solution is only that at temperature at which it dies, that's 92 degrees Celsius, we cannot raise temperature of environment to 92 degrees Celsius. We can say we cannot kill this virus. So we have to save ourselves from being killed, and that's only that we have to take certain precautionary measures like wear mask, wear glasses, and go in sun during noon time when ultraviolet rays are very good in existence. Ultraviolet index now is up to 10, 11. It's summer, and we can inject ourselves by nature. I'm not saying this will replace vaccination. It means it shall strengthen at least your resistance in your body. And of course you have to walk if you can, and if you cannot walk, you go at least in sun or go onto your roof terrace and stay in there for half an hour or 1 hour. Drink hot water, and you can say don't eat cold, don't stay in air conditioned rooms, and don't drive air conditioned cars. Try to heat up your body, use fan or use cooler, or you can have very dramatic simple lives. Means don't eat anything produced by confectioners or halwais we call it. Don't go to marriages, and even if you go to marriages, don't eat there any product that is produced by confectioners. Better take your own product from home and eat that, or don't eat at all. Drink hot black tea, drink hot water, as I said. drink hot, eat hot food, and use your mask even when you sleep or you are in your bedroom. Use mask when you are in toilet. There are certain points. You have to keep your body hot all these times. And even if you walk for half an hour in sun, you earn a lot in your health. Yes, you will feel thirsty, you will sweat, so you have to take water. So that's so simple. I'm interested in educating people from this point of view, and from engineering point of view. This is also part of quality now. How we move our life, so we can move our life like this. This is very serious matter, and this seriousness affects our country as well as other countries. But we have to be very serious and simple. And serious and simple means we have to be serious now. If we are not serious now, we will invite more and more problems for nation, for ourselves, for people. And I am very much concerned for those poor people who stay 4 or 5 persons in one room, and it shall be a height of limit if people contract COVID. I am closing COVID talk now at this moment, and try to you can say I am now saving this also, so that this works, and I can say let us say it works. Let's save as this. I'm just saving this document. This is folder E. Where is that? Just a minute, please. Let me save this document. So I'm closing this. Thank you very much. Now I'm coming to engineering. Engineering, life is engineering. Life is engineering, and you also know that engineering is life. Life is engineering. You will say, how can you justify that? Yeah, that's right. How to justify that? Everything must be justified, and how to justify that is my problem. We have to justify if you make some statement. I say life is engineering. It's very easy to justify, in fact, that in our life, somewhere at every step in our life, even in death or at birth, you will find you are linked to engineering. If you are born in hospital is engineering product. Or if you go to cremation ground is also an engineering product. If you fly in an engineering product. And also if you walk on an engineering product, and that is footpath. If you, wherever you go, even if you use public toilet, it's engineering product. Or if you drink water, it's engineering product. Treatment is engineering product. So where is no engineering product? I think I can't find any place on earth, developed earth, I can say. Even if you eat food, it's engineering product, agricultural engineering product. Nowadays you can call it agricultural engineering product. You can't say it is not. It is. So how does it relate to us? That's my point. It relates to us in a way quality works. That's why I say quality everywhere, because quantity is everywhere. So quality should be everywhere. Quality of work, quality of expression, quality of talks, quality of physical working, quality of mentally working, quality of whatever you do. Even if we argue, it should be quality based. We debate, it should be quality based. We study, it should be quality based. We work, it should be quality based. Quality has to be uniformly applied everywhere. Do not think quality partly, think quality wholly. I can say wholly. A WHO, LY, or WHLY, or entirely. You can say entirely. Quality is entirely. That's my conception with quality, and this is excellently well. It does very well. I don't want to spend whole time on something, and let's see now. We say in projects, EPC, etc. Yesterday I was talking about in these documents, you know, maybe you say he bores too much, and I was standing at technical proposal, which is very important point, and we restart from there. Restart in that is whole scenario, that technical work I am talking of. And technical work is very important work because it requires reality of life. Why we call technique? Why do we call technique? Because technique means technique. What we see, if I analyze like that, my analysis are sometimes very different, and maybe you people don't like that. Probably I don't say yes or no, but sometimes I think in different way. I view my own articles in different way. We say technique is English word, but I say no, it is not English word. Shall you believe it? I say technique. You say no, this is English. I say no, this is not English. This is other one. Nothing to do with English. Can you believe it? You shall not believe it, I know. What is talking is technology is talking. Technique. What is technique? In Hindi, we call it technique. Right? Technique. Technique. Right? In Hindi. What is that? Means anything or whatever we can do that can be viewed by eyes, that can be applied by mind and viewed by eyes, that can be applied by mind and by hands and can be viewed by eyes. You can understand this point. Whatever we do by application of mind, whatever we do by use of our hands, our palms, and use of mind, and using some material, whatever material, we call it technique. Formula or method to do that, or how to solve whatever problem we have, we call it technique. Technique, it can be technical, you can say. How to work as carpenter, how to work as mason, how to work as steel fixer, how to work as, you can say, welder, how to work as electrician, how to work as duct worker, how to work as driver, how to work as operator, how to work as support, how to excavate, and all that, all those traditions, all those occupations that come in our line of work, our line of act, that we can say we move further and further, and that requires our choice. Welding is a technique, steel fixing is a technique, masonry work is a technique, or all these occupations are technique. Making tea also is a technique. Brooming floor is a technique. Curing of concrete is a technique. Whitewashing is a technique. Painting is a technique. Driving is a technique. Or you can say Wherever some knowledge is required to do some job or some statement is required to define something, how to do that, I consider those where results are measured in certain terms. Those are called technique. Technique means you have to give details of whatever level those details may work, those details may lead to certain product, certain output, and that output can be measured, and that must have certain defined criteria within that, and that defined criteria is called level of quality. Quality cannot be defined in certain exclusive terms. Quality is a part of quantity, and quality minus, you can say, quantity is nothing, and quantity minus quality is also nothing. If there is no quality, this means this is scrap, this is rag, this is garbage, I can say. So I am making very different statement here because I am talking of technical proposal. Proposal, when we call it, not work, because I as a person propose something to be done by someone else. If I do it myself, I don't call it proposal, I call it application, because I'm going to do it. So proposal is my own system, it's my own view, but I can't do it if someone who is ready for this is not ready. Somebody who wants to do it is not able to do it. But if that person says, I stand with you, I accept your proposal, and you do it for me, so that proposal is changed to work for me. So technical proposal is not, you can say its name only technical proposal, otherwise this is a tender bid, this is an offer that this is my capability. It's same thing as if you apply for some job for employment, you say I am going to write, I submit my CV, curriculum vitae, or people call it biodata or resume, whatever you can call it. It is proposal that I am able to do for you this job. This is my CV, and that CV is my background. That CV gives that person whatever I am, to whatever level I can explain. It's not a matter of 4 pages, 2 pages. As much as I can tell my recruiter what I am, what was my background, and what I can do, and what I have done. I think that is a technical work. I tell that recruiter. This a technical work means it's a kind of small technique. You have to give your data like name, father's name, address, etc. And on top of that, education also you give, but main is experience, and that experience is much more important. And experience you achieve only when you get some education and learn some you can say art or some technique, and those repetitions of technique improves your work, improves your entire caliber. So that caliber is kind of technique. I am equipped with this technique, I can say. I am equipped with civil engineering, I am equipped with this application, or I am equipped with this expertise. That point we have to consider. No technical proposal means nothing. There was a time when technical proposal was not submitted separately, but because of expertise, because of very much involvement of techniques, and because if you don't understand technique, you cannot do work. That is also a point of right to understand. Means if you don't do how to do that, how can you trust me? How can I trust you? There should be reciprocal trust that I am honored. I can get this work done by this person. He is expert. I should have trust. I should have an understanding that this person is more suitable for me, and as that person must have understanding that I will be awarded accordingly by this person who is working for whom I am working. This also, so that's also a technical proposal in terms of CVs you give. Or CV should be crystal clear. because questions can be asked from CV only, and that's called right interview. I'm not very much concerned about your education because you are certified. You must have studied at least 35%, if not 100%. I should assume that you studied 40% or 35%, and based on that knowledge, I am going to give you work. It's up to you how much you can learn more, how can you do more, how can you improve your knowledge. That is in your hands, in your control, and that's not in my control. So that's what a person wants to improve knowledge in life or best in education. Whatever you miss in your education time, you can improve later on. There's full opportunity. Nobody can stop you. Say, I got only 35% marks, I could not get 70% marks. Even if I got 70% mark, it doesn't mean that I'm expert because I missed 30%. Even if I 80% marks, I missed 20%. So no one is perfectly educated. You can say it's only reference that says, okay, he is having distinction or even this. Forget all that. That was education time. That was a learning time. We could understand something. We could not understand something. But now it is doing time. Doing time. We are going to do something and we cannot do, oh, I have done 25% accepted. No, that is not acceptable. You have to do 100%. That's my point. Technical is technical. Examination of academics is different because you were a student. You could not understand everything perfectly. But now you are not a student. You are a student in experience, achieving experience. Yes, you are a student of achieving. You have to achieve, and you can achieve only when you do something completely, fully, and that complete work is dependent on your caliber. So even if you did not study full to 100%, your work shall teach you. That's where I am inclined to explain why technical activities are so important. Technical activities are always important because without those activities you cannot learn anything. Take for example, you studied engineering, you studied degree or masters or doctors, whatever. But if you don't apply that knowledge, what is the value of that degree? My question to everybody is, I got, somebody says I doctor, engineer. By academics, they are having different levels. But when you go to field, everything looks new for you. Even if there is soil, you always stay on soil. You use it, you know it. But when it comes to practice of application or of analysis, you can't do that until you have some experienced person, you have some geotechnical engineer, you have some laboratory engineer who conduct tests and give you a report. You can understand that report, you can go through that report and analyze it comprehensively, and you get some answers. You may have certain questions on them, or you may not be happy with that report. Yes, that's your choice. If you have questions, you can ask questions. But soil is still same. If you take soil, you cannot answer what the soil is, what components it has, what chemical it has, what part sand it has, what part clay it has, or what part lime it has. All these points only, all these answers can be known through investigation or soil exploration. So soil and soil exploration. Now soil exploration is investigative technique. It's very important one. If investigation is done well, means we have done 100% job of at least investigation, then we have to coordinate, we have to understand report, we have to comprehend report, and we have to think accordingly what we studied in our education system during degree, what we understood about investigation, what we understand about how to do this work. That's the point here. So it is not only for soil you do, it's for everything. When you conduct, you are given some work in engineering, what do they say? Yeah, I want this report, this is the question, is solve it. Because there is no other work, you question, and certain parameters are given. You have to apply those parameters, and if from those parameters more parameters are required, you can find solution to that. But and you will know there are so many steps in this. If you take a step in every pace, it will, it shall become voluminous work, while result will not be that much proportional. So point is that this all technique, you have to apply technique in whole world. And application of technique or application of some activity which is based on certain formula or certain application, all those within certain, approved budget, it's all called, you can say, philosophy, all called, you can say, a way to achieve something. And in my world, in engineering world, say, okay, this is what you want to do, this is work that you will do, and this is your proposal that you want to do. And if your proposal and your work are both in universally coordinated, universally, your proposal says yes, you can do this, you're suitable, but that should be your point. It's not a copy from someone else posted. That will not solve problem. So here I can say problems are not that we think these are problems. Problems are all different. So technical proposal, when we call this term technical proposal, this is a dominating term in world of engineering, in world of construction, because dominance, I mean, dominance doesn't mean king you are or you are dictator. It doesn't mean that. But technique cannot be applied if you do not know, first of all, what is technique, if you do not know how it works, because we did not conduct any analysis. We trust past analysis. Okay, that's fine, you can trust past, but ultimately you have some report, and that report is quite thick volume. This report is, say, 5 years old project. For that one it's valid. But whatever it is, it was done 2 years back or 3 years back, but now we got it. Yes, there may be some changes, some alterations to the report, but your report is not naked one. You are going to do whatever you're going to do on that report, but that's a document. So technical proposal here, the question is, it's, I repeat, it's unavoidable in this age of bidding or tendering, particularly on various industries or projects of international quality requirement and assurance. What says that in this world nowadays, before accepting your offer, cost-wise, I have to see, means I here, I mean client has to see where do you stand in technical considerations, because your technical is very important than something else. If we understand this point, if I understand or I'm successfully able to let you understand this best one, what is technical proposal, I simply can say technical proposal is very simple answer, that you have to do work on these techniques, whatever techniques you are including in your report or in your submission, whatever machines you include, whatever materials you include, and whatever other film people have to suit this, because we refer to film people, we can get better for our response. So it's unnecessary. Have your own mind, and we know how we can apply these techniques. These techniques are based on certain motion. That's one. Now technical proposal means you have to writing, you have to do writing, you tell them in writing or through some other mode like advertisements, photographs, or senior mode of computer, or whatever that could be. This means that. Point here is, why should I trust myself? Why should I trust technique, and why should I trust those who want to apply them? Trust means this is not conscious trust. No, this is logical trust. When we say trust, means what? When I say I trust you on job matters, it doesn't mean because I see your face and I trust you. That is something else. That is not professional trust. When I say professional trust is something different, and it is very big trust, because this is not trust in person, this is trust in working relation. This is a trust that if you say something to me, I accept that because you shall do it. It's not because you said and I accept it, no, because I have experienced during my work, during my career, that if this person or this organization says something or accepts something, that would do. That much confidence I should have in that one, and that much confidence they should have that this person for whom we are working provisionally will not deceive us. That degree of trust is very important, and if you build that degree of trust in a profession, I think you are a person on the right track. Because money is one part in this world, but quality is also one part. That you can say, if you want money, you have to do quality work. That's also important. Yes, you may deceive someone one time. People trusted you, and they also trusted that you have produced quality. But when they come to experience that your quality has missed, then you know how badly those persons feel. That this person is only a salesman, only advertisement person. It can sell product by lip service, but that cannot afford product by real use. So that is a worrying point. And that's why I say, when you offer something based on my requirement, you will do this, you will do that, and you will claim this much for that. That's called technical proposal input as part of offer, which is not based on money or criteria, but that's based on techniques. So technical, I'm not going to repeat this all contents which I have already done in this part, but I'm going to repeat. What does it mean? It means you have to make documents, you have to prepare certain documents which are given in bid questionnaire. Of course, those documents minimum you have to respond, and you can give whatever else, or maybe you consider whatever else is more significant. So in your documents where these are available, you can allow them study this, study that, and that's very important point. So when I say technical proposal or technical submission as tender part, as bid part, this means I am going to I submit my claim, I submit my efficiency document, I submit my credibility document, I submit a kind of CV, you can say, not as an individual but as organization. This is curriculum vitae of my organization as we submit for an employment or certain position. So I say my company has this much consistency, this much approach towards work, or this much reliability we have included in our pre-qualification documents, and we enclose as much as possible in terms of clarities, in terms of conformities towards requirements as student, as learner or apprentice, as advancing person or as expert in whatever stage we work in lifetime. Our our these achievements of bodies or sub-bodies and sub-events. All these though are not written nowadays, but when you read the whole video, you will find many such requisitions. I say, okay, I am submitting what materials I shall use, I am submitting what drawings I shall prepare, I am submitting what do I understand by this project or this scheme, how I can handle it, have I understood whole, that's my question. I have to describe I can do it and I can do it utilizing this method. One method or two methods, three methods, likewise everything we have to submit. And we have to make sure that what I am submitting is compatible with the requirement. It's of course part of engineering, it's part of work, it's part of design, it's part of execution, or it's a part of testing, it's a part of meeting requirements, whatever is. And my statement is based on all resources I'm going to apply. How shall I handle all of these various issues? All whatever we do. That's what we call it. Whatever. Technical proposal means you have to submit your company's strength, your company's competency, that you can do such jobs or you have done such jobs, we have to do better. And this is also very important point, because maybe you are honest in the eyes of that company, that organization. You may be honest, you may be sincere. Honesty, when I say honest, doesn't mean honesty as you understand meaning of honesty. That means you are a person who are yourself honorable by your experience, by your qualification, and by whatever else system that you have. You have to understand that way. It is simple, it's not difficult, but that understanding of the simplicity contemplation is very difficult to be given shape. And if you give shape to that one, maybe this shape either creates a quality and sound, or it's not that way competent, as I should say. So your technical submission should be not simply submission, it should be a grasp of your knowledge, it should be a grasp of project actually. To be very frank, it's not your, you have to define what you understand by this work. First is that. You have to define it. Do you understand? Question is, you are an experienced person, but do you understand this project? That's first question there. And if you understand that project, yes, because you understand, and that understanding comes to you by your own analytical study, yet you've gone through these documents that we submit, or documents that are required to be prepared, you are capable of that. You are capable of working on that. You are capable of working on site requirements. You are capable to procure these items. You are capable to understand new techniques that are coming, and etc. etc. whatever it is. It's all part of your base. Their base is engineering. In that base, I think, is ourselves, that we give to ourselves. My proposal is not for me, it's for work. And if I can satisfy, not personally, but project-wise, that I have understood your project and I am capable to do it. I have so many people with me, I have so many equipment with me, and I have that much organization with me to back me up. And my proposal, and there shall be, like my proposal, many more proposals from different organizations. Yeah, I know in one day we cannot do that, can't done. But I don't say in one day you that. Take your time, and that's all is required. Take your time, understand project, analyze it perfectly, find where you are fit, and find where you need external support. And then you can say, okay, I can do this. In steps of submission, of technical reporting, we can describe this project. A simple point. If you can understand that, even if you are not very experienced, but you understand procedures, you can write procedures and those procedures may be accepted provided these are according to requirement and these can meet your requirements. We have to see that one. We sometimes understand something based on experience, not based on books. And then we think on that, write on that. It's like we had when time comes, we have to prepare ourselves for these bids, and that's very important point. And that was reason that if I just read fast, it should be okay, right? If I read fast so that you can understand. Reading fast is it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable in this age of bidding or tendering, particularly on various industrial projects of international quality requirement, assurance nature, that all bids are submitted in two parts, either together or separately, and these are called technical bid and commercial bid, depending upon defined client requirement. Technical bid is always considered lead submission package on commercial to fully and comprehensively assure whether or not involved project bid got professional capability and to execute and prosecute intended requirements of project smoothly and efficiently, keeping within limits of constraints such as time, quality, and cost. In case submitted technical bid is rejected, there should be no further requirement for involved bid either to propose commercial part of project bid or if both bids are submitted together. Incompetency on technical bid shall drop just of further consideration. That point must understand. Technical bids voluminous document containing complete details of bidders' intentions to carry out proposed project execution from its commencement to its completion stage, describing in details way, procedures, or methods, each and every part of intended proposed project, defining how demanded requirements shall be handled and whether or not bidder is adequately resourceful, technically capable, and further scrutinizing all other aspects expected by client and engineer. Bid is re-evaluated and all. Technical bid should contain fully descriptive and completely integrated infrastructure of involved bidder in all respects about design and execution philosophies, execution plan machinery, and manpower proposal. Alternative proposal if so necessary, contemplated by bidder, full design criteria, materials proposed from its authentic source, acceptability of third-party certification, deviation from defined contract and its controls, complete safety programs, details and risk analysis, hazard study, safety records, safety plans proposed, evidence of past safety capability, records various well-defined formats to be employed for using during whole duration of project cycle, including post-mechanical completion, construction maintenance. It also requires descriptive proposals from its quality assurance and quality control section, providing all necessary formats and detailed methods of quality control, maintenance, including inspection and test plans, checklists and all quality documentation procedures, execution of project construction method statements, as well as provisions respecting proposed independent material testing laboratory. All procedures pertaining company documentation shall be included, involving internal documents, metrics used, and ensuring that documents traceability is smooth all times to come. Engineering procedures, including procurement, shall also be included within this proposal, giving complete feedback on proposed designing system, software to be used, designers' potential, complete requirement of job, and data acquisition, etc. Then you can say engineering procedures, including procurement, should also be included within this proposal, giving complete feedback on proposed engineering, designing system, software to be used, designers' potential, complete requirement of job-related materials, job temporary facilities to accommodate proposed manpower. Since required technical proposal is based on bid, provided feed documents by client company or client company appointed FED's contractor, whatever contents of required technical proposal be presented should be based on necessary technical directives, compliance to included in a bid. Now, bidder based from proposal should not all deviate from bid requirements. Bid requirements. Competent bidder is required to endorse submitted technical bid, stating that given bid is completely based upon provided fee or provided documents, meeting all requirements unconditionally without any qualification restriction. Its content of certifications should be in accordance with client format provided. There may be an alternative proposal in addition to bidders from proposal, which may satisfy all requirements of fee in addition to making contribution, cost and time, saving client. Now we can move further. I can say its content of certification should be in accordance to client format provided. There may be an alternative proposal in addition to bidders from proposal, which may satisfy requirements of feed in addition to making contributing cost and time, saving to promoting client accordance to define value engineering consideration that honor client could accept if all proposals comply with provisions including feed. Technical proposal is very comprehensive presentations, content wise, giving all information of proposed contract execution involving all aspects from design to implementation, performance and industries. No room is likely allowed. No milk is likely allowed. Now, no room is allowed for any commercial reflection within technical submission. You can say in fact, while making evaluation of these documents, contents, a thorough consistency and capacity of bidder is measured from all aspects. Many rounds of technical submission, including technical meetings, are conducted to scrutinize submission of all included chapters. These chapters should be simple in presentation, a style to allow full, clear communications from bidder to contact engineer, client. to supply to facilitate an easy understanding pertaining to proposed project execution. All sources of procurable materials, equipment, and all other items, components to use for all permanent inclusions on project should be enlisted in a scheduled manner in line with all field requirements. Proposed work scheduled to meet bid defined milestones should be explicitly described, convincing everyone concerned, stakeholder, and client company, and that bidder approach is feasible to achieve indicated or defined targets in practical terms, so that commissioning of facility moves smooth without causing any problem. All workforce and staffing levels as well as management organizations supervised and guided with projects should be clearly defined, including required series of all key personnel. These levels should meet bid defined criteria according to given field as well as bid expected professional competencies. Design procedures should be clearly defined in a precise manner, including giving all designations of information technology to be utilized for bid project. In brief, all other proposals for bid proposed facilities for all temporary works as well as for all permanent works should be included explicitly. It's quite a long format, but should be precise and clear point to point involving all significant considerable terms. Can say bid client is never interested in a voluminous documentation for show of purpose. Bid a precise content, giving all time true and it should be remembered that all these proposal documents shall be required for bid actual demonstration rather than actual demonstration. It's better not to propose something that's not practiced by bidder, otherwise the demonstration could detract bidder. Many cases have been noticed when after submission of bid or proposal, no bid client is never interested in voluminous documentation for show of purpose, but a price and it should be remembered that all these proposal documents should be required, not beyond. It's better not to propose something that's not practically done by otherwise demonstration could detract bidder. Many cases have been noticed when after submission of proposal, comments are received from client asking for requiring many clarifications which are difficult to reply positively and satisfactorily. Better be straightforward for bid submission. Quality requirement assuring all service. H. Then you can say, continue, important and significant role for providing value project technical bid for due time and due version must be given by proposed bidder. Relevant experts. Relevant experts. No, relevant experts should be engaged for required details, including inclusion of all necessary information, inclusion within bid documents for engineer, company, and client. So once project bidder is shortlisted either by client or by company organization, now let's go to project designs and what I say, contract award. Contract award. We referred this also last time, but again we have to see, because every time we discuss, we find something extraordinary in that, and extraordinary means we have to come better than possible. Contract, after all, what is that? Can we define? What is contract award? This means we have to understand what is contract. And we understand what is contract, we know what is bid. So it's different game name with different types of people and different type of traffic. Our areas are very complicated, uneven, and constituted. Now, what do I understand by contract? That's my point. And then only we can understand what contract or means. I'm talking of this industry of construction. There are so many guys. No, contract. After all, why do we run behind contract? What do you understand by term contract? Can we move without this? All these are very important points. Can I move without that? That's the point here. What is contract? That makes sense. So I am back with this statement here. Contract award. I'll take the point experience contract, when two persons agree on something to do together. When we say two persons agree on something to do together, in a way that responsibilities are divided, we call it division of responsibility. Do you understand what DOR? Division of responsibility. Responsibility of whatever act. It may be responsibility to do the work or responsibility to make payment in lieu of that, and to do all other acts that do not fall in scope of other party and that you have to do yourself. And this is called contract agreement or called contract considerations. When I want something to be done, right? When I want something to be done by someone else of my choice, person of my choice, or company of my choice, I say that this company has to do this for me, and in consideration of which work, in consideration of which act, in consideration of procedures, I shall pay that company or the person this amount, this consideration, or this sum, or this rate. That's called contract. I have to do contract, I have to do work according to my scope. That scope is defined in contract itself, and that scope has to be analyzed by contractor or by bidder, that I have to do this much work, this measurement of my work is quantity of my work, and that scope is quantity, that scope is qualification, that scope is everything where specifications apply. And whatever other than those, whatever is not, what is not included in scope of work, these documents do not apply for that, because that is covered under scope of owner or employer or other party on contract, or maybe in other contracting awards. So contract award is that which gives me permission to do that scope as contractor by other party, which is known as employer. So it said within this procedure, all shortlisted parties shall be invited to tender for company client EPIC bid, who in turn calculate cost of demanded facility on EPIC bid basis or EPC lump sum from price basis for either whole or part of project job in defined fixed time based on compliance with all fee documents provided. Complete submission include technical bid on one part and commercial bid on other part. Now sufficiency, you can say, now sufficiency of its technical bid part shall decide whether or not its commercial bid should be considered. Now if I am happy with my bidder technically, then we can call for commercial bid, or we can call for opening its commercial bid. And if suppose we consider three parties together, these three parties are there on our considerations. This is first, second and third, and then we compare their prices as well. So technical bids also given, we can say credits, this is first technical bid, this is third technical bid, and accordingly we can say okay, we consider them, and that's usual procedure. So sufficiency of its technical bid part shall decide whether or not its commercial bid part should be considered after having its technical bid qualified by project bidder. Qualified bidders shall be notified by company or engineer client about opening time schedule of commercial bids. Then EPIC contract shall be awarded after complete scrutiny of all bid documents, availability of contract performance bonds, and ascertaining fully its sufficiency of project quality as well as capability pertinent project proposed contractor. Then a letter of award is given, issued by client representative or engineer, instructing project successful bidder to immediately commence project job, giving one contract effective date of commencement. Now date shall be appointed. A date shall be appointed by client or engineer for project contract execution between client and successful bidder, as well as for initial kick-off meeting. An agenda shall be drawn. An agenda shall be drawn for kick-off meeting. An agenda shall be drawn on kick-off meeting, defining sequence of deliberation, contract points to discuss, while all officials and authorities from both parties would be certainly required to be present during this kick-off meeting. A project successful bidder or prospective contractor shall affirmatively make it available its representatives to execute formal contract documents on that appointed day, failing which project client enjoys legal rights to claim bidder's bank release tender bond amount to compensate client owner company. It's a very important point here. Now we have done procedures for technical bid, we are called for commercial bid opening, and we have come to know that this is lowest person with best technical bid, or there's some adjustment in that. Price is fixed, we cannot change price. Price is fixed and that bidder has to accept that price. And if bidder doesn't accept that price or say, no, I'm not interested in this, so only way out is that whatever bid amount or bid bond amount was held, an employer has a right or a client has a right to ask bank to give that amount, release that amount in favor of employer. This is the rule. You can't do if you run away from it and you refuse tender, I don't want to do this. In that, then employer has a right, legal right to ask guaranteeing bank to release this amount for employer. That's another case, a remote case. But a point is different, means what we have to do once we get finalized. Okay, issue letter that you are our contractor, EPIC or construction contractor, and we shall adjust amounts accordingly we discussed. But that lump sum price cannot be changed. If calculations disclaim that your amount fixed, you priced for this tender, according to calculations that price comes above that sum, the employer has a right to write to contractor, to bidder, disparity in price, and whatever more price comes in, all this price whatever is finally given, its final, and reduction elsewhere shall be made in BOQs if BOQ accepts. It applies in fixed. We cannot increase price. Yes, you can decrease. Suppose calculations tell that your price fixed for this one is incorrect, it should be lower, and shall you accept lower? That's the point. So it means in both cases approval has to be taken by engineer from bidder, and I am ready in every circumstance without any reservation to carry out this job at this fixed price consideration. That's what's required. Means I want to change specifications, I want to dislocate myself from complying with the specification, I will abide by every requirement. And that's important point here to consider, that then commencement is given by issue of letter, and of course tender documents will be reconverted to contract documents, and maybe in sometimes they don't happen contract documents, but at the end they say this is our legal support, we can use these documents for that purpose. Now that is all above, so a date shall also be fixed, approved by client instructing project contractor to submit required performance bonds. Performance bonds is important here because bid bond is invalid now, because bid status has gone, it is contract status has come. So contract means you have to perform on that contract. Your performance requirement says that you have to submit bid bond, performance bond, contract bond, that you shall do this work, and this is surety of this contract bond, performance bond. A date shall also be appointed by client instructing project contractor to submit required performance bond, insurance policies. Insurance means workers' insurance policies, staff insurance policies, third-party insurance policies about project work, as well as for proposed personal accidents coverage, you can say, and all other necessary legal documents regarding these contractual obligations according to provisions included and agreed on such, you can say, which documents. General, you can say, regarding these contractual obligations according to provisions included and agreed on general conditions of contracts, GCC, and also on contract particular conditions. Details about all deductibles, amounts covered under all policies, etc. shall be submitted according to agreed documents, procedures, and each and every document shall be scrutinized and operated according to contract. Now, execution program is main field where what we have to see, what we have done so far, that has to move physically, move mechanically, and that's what we say execution program, a contractual binding document. This contract binding document, this is not just a document, binding document, and that's a schedule actually. We call planning schedule. Planning schedule we can call it, and this is very very important document. Execution programming, a contractual binding. Execution program, a contractual binding. So contract shall immediately prepare a detailed execution plan based on project brief level 1 plan that was included within document technical submission or technical proposal at each stage for all complete contract. Now say we have to work from level 1 to level 5 on this schedule, and we can work on this project or Primavera, whatever way we can work. So Primavera or MS project software performance adjustments, that's what we have to do with. Now program, it's important point, it's important document, because this is a part of contract. So it is done at later stage, it's corrected, and also it was submitted along with bid. So it's a root document, you can say. Yes, in this you cannot change physical dates. Wherever it's given this is final handover, it should be final handover. Where is what going on, or in second stage you have to go to, you can say, program schedule. Program schedule means we have to define complete project. A project may have 10 components, 15 components, 2 components. We must have one master plan for that, all project. This is date of start and this is date of handover, and all months depicted there, and also we have to write names in bottom charts. We make this program not for sake of program, but for sake of analyzing whole project. It's not simply that we have to apply bar chart, we have to draw bar chart. That's not sole motto of this schedule. Of course it is bar chart, it could be CPM, it could be Gantt, but practically speaking, bar chart is best considered, because It doesn't need any movement. No, scheduled production is intellectual work. It's not ordinary job. Means what project you are going to do, you have to understand that project first. It's not simply starting job now. You have to comprehend that one first. You have to go through all documents. I'm not saying you have to do that on site, but from viewpoint of how it shall be implemented or how can take this advice from site people. They have to conduct into format how to compile this in format that way. Because every calculation of one page shall create problem again and again. So for some important item it's better to use another book. It's called workbook for the purpose. Now, when you plan this, you are in contract and have scope of contract. You know which building I am going to do, which area I am going to do. As you are an engineer after all, you are a planner, doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Maybe you are not an engineer, you may be construction experienced, or you may be having some knowledge of PMP, or whatever you can say. You have to understand that project, and if you are not able to understand that project, then better don't do it. It's not simply work breakdown structure I'm talking a whole project. You must have thorough understanding project if you are make a planner. Means without planning, without making real planning, the planning will. You have to understand not only what scope it has, but to understand what quantity it has, what items it has. Because it's your project, your scheduler, your planner. How you plan, that way site guys shall implement. So you are their leader as far as planning is concerned. Maybe your team of many, a member of teams of many projects. But in this project, you are director for planning. So your plan must be speaking one, must show one. So now time comes, we have to understand all these points. If you break down everything, or if you get copy from quantity surveys about quantities, if you can't solve yourself, at least items you have to understand. And if you can't understand items, better don't do planning, don't think that you know everything. And sequence is also very important to understand, because there may be hundreds of activities on any project, and sequence are there. Some is parallel, some is in sequence, some is in critical path, some like that. If you don't understand all these, I think there's no meaning that you should be on main door or something like that. We believe in the architects. This will become architecture, become a liability. So you get quantities for various items. You'll find again and again repetition of quantities. So no problem. This will repeat because there are scope of different. Of course, quantities are very. So So I applied. Now I put that plan. For example, I'm taking takeover site or master plan. I put in. This is my master plan. It's containing all buildings, one by one. All is written. So again, master plan. Good. Good. If you say I'm a national and I'm doing something in the interest of my nation, that's fine. You are working very hard on quantities, you are working very hard on sequencing, and you are working very hard on coordination of these bars, and you are giving dates to that. This will automatically. When you have worked on this plan, you have worked for all areas of this plan. How can you see a doctor if you are not experienced? If you are a doctor, you must know what is treatment. Same way, if you are an engineer, you know what's your treatment. You have to keep in mind low duration of project or high duration of project. You have to keep in mind mobilizing time as well as other times required. Maybe investment. When we say WBS, what does it mean? Work breakdown structure. It's very important. Many works in one building. So work is actually output from both one and one. Now we say, okay, we break down structures from survey, or even from takeover site to handover or maintenance level. There could be as many items as possible there, as many points possible there, which we have to take care of. There could be whatever number of items in substructure, and there could be any number of items in superstructure. We have to note something, security point. Yes, please. So when you see on your plan, on your scope, and you chart out your work, but mistake should be in sequence, it should not be haphazard. All should be in sequence. What items comes first or should be considered what comes next to that, and next to that, next to that. All 12, or you can say all your proposals or your tender is reflected on that. Maybe sometimes you have BOQ, sometimes you don't have, it doesn't matter. You have BOQ, you don't have BOQ, or what do you want to do? You have to study all document. And if BOQ is not available, you have to work out quantities and make BOQ. Because BOQ is very important item. And your BOQ may be better than what you will get about. And of course, specifications are available already done by employer. Safety is available though in those days. Safety. When I say I have done, means I should not leave any item undone. Patience pays, always pays that. If you can intelligently make your schedule, include all items and allot time periods to them, accepting time periods of machine and time per machine that doesn't work in work. My question is, how far do you understand this project? There may be 4 BOQs, for example, let's say. You know, if there is doubt in your plan, you have to revise that doubt. No, you're a successful planner. If you have done the whole project and you have given budget, that's a very important point. Budget must go over price. That let us assume that you have successfully gone through this exercise, this activity of charting out, you can say, your work. I think you shall be able to do that in time, and then your proposed progress that you expect on your schedule, you will chart out that WBS quantities and progress week-wise or month-wise. Then you can form S-curve, which indicates time passed and progress achieved. That graphics means S-curve, and you can say this is schedule S-curve, or this is tender or bid S-curve, or contract S-curve, and this S-curve shall be measured. This will be basis for new S-curve, which shall be based on real project, and that difference in two is very important to be considered. So there is no, you can say, there should be no panic in that. You have to be very calm and serious about that. First, to understand nothing has been left in that, and what time factors you have, how shall you move, and you have to understand 2 points: that mobilization period is given in beginning, which is very important, and also testing and commissioning stage at end. This period in beginning about 1 month, and period of 1.5 months or 2 months in back in end. Similarly, This point we have to clearly understand, and WBS is to be prepared that we have to move further. And once this program is approved, for example, we approve this program after making all submissions on this histograms based S-curve and histograms of S-curve, and also you can say histograms of resources and histograms of proposed machines and proposed periods of them, and whatever else quantity consumed you have to, and it will come. All these must be successfully complied with, and you have to now we have to see our S-curve, and we have to see our other histograms and cash flow. Cash flow is very important point, which I tried in this one. I missed one, that machines availability, work plan, and cash flow is very important point. Again, I'm telling you, because sometimes cash is not available, so cash is kept in our office, that is center office. If you know cash, it's very easy to chart out. Means you have this much cash in hand, then you start testing machine. You have to work out each and everything before moving further. That's very important point. Risks you have to see, how you have to move, you have to see. All analysis must be conducted before finalizing your schedule. That's called schedule. Otherwise, there's no meaning of schedule. If you have to draw bars, it's okay, this is schedule. No. You have to find out clashes. You have to find out where there is, you can say, cross culture, or where in the Now, all this we have done in very brief, and we can say we have to submit not only this schedule of full work, we have to submit 90 days again period, and also we have to submit our other details like 3 months, as I said, and also 6 months. Every time we have to make grants, and we should make it. If this project is done like that, we will know where cash is required. We will be short of cash, we will be short of this and short of that. That points to us. Now, point is not that. Point is by this talk we have to establish how can we be successful in charting out our progress or plan and how to move further. How to know everything in advance about what we have to do. And if we cannot do that, if we cannot chart out plan, we cannot complete project. Everything should be crystal clear and it takes some briefing and contract, some briefing system. Now, once we understand everything, we can move forward. If you have got these details, you have, complete dates, you have a complete plan, and we can move on that. That is major point. Then this program shall be supported by detailed method statements. That's the importance of point we're talking about, and giving complete information about all phases of works and their relevant elements arranged in an order, keeping in view indicated priorities and content project to accomplish Posted code program effectively. This program shall be supported by detailed method statement. That's requirement of this, and that method statement is quite big. It's execution statement, you can say, which covers entire project and what's required on that. How shall we move? How shall we mobilize? And how shall we arrange all? And that's called complete method statement, detailed method statement, and major sequences of operations covered from project home office. Major sequences of operations to be covered from project home office activities, including corporate management affairs, designing, procurement, documentation, a selection of subcontractors, engineering, procurement, deliveries, control, customs, materials, storing, quality assurance, cost control, and taking down to site relevant activities in all respect. It's very important one. It's going to do everything on that. How shall we do all these activities? You have to indicate on your schedule. It means periods for this. How shall they help it? How shall you help them? And we will do together. How organize our project? Means we have to do designing, we have to do procurement, we have to do documentation, sectors, selection of customers, and we have to do engineering, we have to do procurement, we have to do deliveries, all that we have to arrange in line to format factory. This is very important. This part should be taken considered very seriously as what progresses. Moment rests on its actual level of performance. All these explained above foregoing functions constitute support to project from front office performance. Project front office, they how to perform. It depends upon how you devise this schedule, how you arrange this, and you encourage them, follow it. All foregoing functions constitute supports to project front office performance. All these functions are controlled and done by Point here is different, very different point. In case these functions are conducted inefficiently by back or support office, front-end progress achievement shall be adversely impacted upon. Organization chart shall be presented showing contact design office, contact head office, site office, subcontractors offices, and all others directly or indirectly connected parties, and giving full description respecting all such project parties or stakeholders and about their corporate structure. Now, also curriculum vitae or vitae respecting key personnel to be involved on project. Complete execution of contract project shall be proposed for approval by engineer. Without such contractual approval, no key person shall be allowed to work on the contract. Every project defines its level of requirements for training, also households, every project defines its level of requirements, pertinent essential qualifications and expertise for all key personnel to be dedicated to it for all smooth deliveries of contract requirements. Format for execution program only, for guidance only. Scope, work breakdown. This is, I'm just telling, execution program, which is scope of work, or you can say scope of execution. Work breakdown, structures, contractors, organizations, including details of organization, subcontractors, organizations, and job positions, and descriptions of key personnel down to supervisory level. Contracting strategy, direct hire, direct control or management, home office work duties, other contractors, interface, coordination, operations, mobilization, breakdown of manpower by trade, including manpower histograms, major equipment utilization schedule. Just in back, please, okay. Just in back in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. do it. Just say we do it. That's all. So this is what we're talking about format. Format of execution, program only format is scope of work program structure, contractors organization, including details of its organization, subcontractors organization, job positions and descriptions of key personnel down to supervisory level, contracting strategy, direct hire, direct control or management, home office activities, other contractors, interface, coordination, operations, mobilization, breakdown of manpower by trade, including manpower histograms, and you can say manpower histograms, you can say, what's that? Manpower histograms about their corporate structure, and CVs, we have to think of the CVs about, and you can say utilization schedule, and we can say construction sequence, temporary facilities including utilities and camp accommodations, site preparations, underground piping, underground electrical and instrumentation, civil foundations and concrete work, structural steel equipment, erection, pipe fabrication, pipe erection, electrical instrumentation, control systems, telecommunication, painting, insulation, pipeline. Again I say this is construction sequence for execution statement, and we say when we start some project you have to sequence temporary facilities, means temporary facilities which shall be withdrawn later on after completion of job. So those temporary facilities which include utilities and camp accommodation. Utilities could be wet use and kitchen and how to live, how to have life in camp, and accommodations and preparation, site preparation, which is of course not actually temporary facility, but it is permanent work for preparation for permanent. You can say it's part of, you can say permanent work, or you may say preparation itself. It depends on what sort of site it is. So site preparations, underground piping, underground electrical and instrumentation, civil foundations, concrete work, structural, this come all under execution of work. And concrete work, structural steel, concrete work, structural steel, equipment erection, pipe fabrication, pipe erection, electrical instrumentation, control systems, telecommunications, painting, insulation, pipeline, security, you can say, it's not written in this, but security system or SCADA system, that is supervisory control and data acquisition, or surveillance system, or whatever else you can say, and many more systems which can't be defined everywhere. A sequence of construction for all activities may contain many chapters, while foregoing description is given only for guideline purpose, since those technical matters are not in scope of this document. I'm just giving an indication only what is required to be done, so that you at least keep in mind something which might not be sometimes available. Systems we have to talk of in that case. It's against a sequence of construction of all activities may contain many chapters, and it's not easy to include everything in one statement. So systems of quality, organization system, which is father of all systems, and of course material organization system, customs formalities, port storage, transportation to site, warehousing, storage, material handling, general responsibilities of field, materials, personal material receiving and inspections requirements, maintenance procedures, protection and preservation procedures, and safety as well. This is number one. So these are certain systems that we have to explain, and before explaining we have to understand, and before understanding we have to search or find in scope of work. And then we can say system is health, safety and environment, and of course in that nowadays many more responsibility of safety personnel, health, safety, environment process and execution plan, health, safety, environment orientation, health, safety, environment site programs, construction environment, control procedures, permitting medical facilities. Again, systems, site security, as I said, site security, heavy lift and transport, personal transport, workforce, direct and indirect, field manuals, construction, automation plan, document control, acceptance, and then there will be systems like mechanical completion, incorporating pre-commissioning and commissioning organization, job descriptions, closeout, attachment systems. Again, site organization chart, field non-manual, staffing plan, subcontract plan, number, name and scope of each subcontract label. 2. Construction schedule, manpower, loading, histogram by trade, including both direct and indirect, systems, equipment, utilization, plan, temporary facilities, and camp accommodation plan. If we go to other one, let me go to other one now. We'll talk of that one also. Okay, quality everywhere. It's not that one. This one is stages of execution. This is this is construction, sorry. This one, yeah, this is that. Now we were here. Yes, mobilization we were talking of. Just I repeat for better understanding something. It says construction and controls are very interrelated sections for successful completion of a project. That's right. Construction and controls are very interrelated sections for successful completion of a project. Design may be considered very safe or oversafe. Design may be considered oversafe or optimum, but real construction involves actual expenses, contract time, and reputation. It should be motto of an organization to apply good controls on project to keep online, on schedule, planning, and actual part of controls. Control includes progress, cost escalation, time, budget, quality assurance, quality requirement, engineering, safety, risks covering, and delays, recoveries. These are all integrated divisions which should move in unison to achieve project delivery target. A well-designed project could be jeopardized during construction phase. From budgetary viewpoint, should not be given due controls applications properly. What does it say in these 6 lines? It says controls. Where there is construction, there are controls, and where there are controls, there is construction. Construction is proportional to controls, and controls are proportional to construction. This is what this says. If there is only construction, there are no controls, nobody shall know what is happening, when shall project finish, when you need materials, when materials shall arrive, means everything is hodgepodge. But when it is recorded properly, all divisions on a project, design division, construction division, procurement division, quality division, or you can say quantity division or contract division, or you may say safety division, or whatever else you think planning etc. is there. They have certain set of objectives, they have certain scope within contract scope, they understand their job, there's well assignment, job description, there's no responsibilities, there's no, and team leaders lead them all. So this is controls or designs, organization, construction, progress, escalation of cost, budget, quality, all these divisions which we are formed. And engineering is also one of them, which I forget to tell. Engineering means not engineering profession but engineering of project. Engineering means engineering and detailed engineering and detailed engineering and detailed engineering, and where something is left, engineering has to do. Even if something is left which no one can do, engineering would do. That's expected of an engineer, because after all engineering is engineering. So it's very descriptive if you can describe these divisions, these responsibilities, these job descriptions in various divisions. There's a lot to say in that. That's I'm simply indicatively defining here what are controls. So there are construction controls, there are completion controls from start to end, and within this there are design controls, there are, you can say, organization controls, there you can say schedule and planning controls, progress, cost escalation, time, budget, everything. Engineering, safety, risk, all are included area. So if all these responsible engineers work together, well, I think construction and control shall be proportional to each other, shall talk to each other, shall interact to each other, shall find conflicting issues each other, discover them and try to solve them. This is what it says. This is basic of this. We have to understand that point. Everything cannot be denied just because I want to deny. No, you cannot deny. So we go further on schedules and programming. Let us say schedules and programming. Programming schedules indicating by NAT bar chart you can say, or by critical path method, or program evaluation and review technique. Various graphical representations give respecting overall and detailed plans for time, activities, milestones, manpower, loadings requirements, machinery loading requirements, cost flow, with all other requirements, and monitoring reviews all these controls during whole currency of projects from real progress, lost time, recovery as well as look ahead, directions to site people. I say programming, scheduling, indicating bar chart by CPM or part degrees, the graphical representation respecting overall in detailed plans for time, activities, milestones, manpower, loading requirements, machinery, loading requirements, cost flow with all other requirements, and monitoring reviews of all these controls during whole currency of project from real progress, lost time, recoveries, as well as look ahead projections. Scheduling documents are produced involving all sections. Scheduling documents are produced involving all sections working for project, and reports are indicatively reports are interactively considered by all departments. Scheduling documents means planning documents are produced involving input from all sections working for project, and reports are interactively considered by all such professionals and departments. Planning engineers or project control engineers work for such activities dedicatedly on project reporting from day to day basis and time to time basis. Planning activities commence. Planning activities commence from day one of commencement to final completion, while documents are produced from level 1 to maybe level 5, depending on project and contract specification requirements. Generally, Primavera or MS Project softwares are used for producing professional documentation for plan project purpose. During tender stage, during tender stage also, programming documents giving complete details and milestones, manpower, workforce, machines, cash flow, etc. are provided for inclusion with technical proposals, which is considered as one of capability competencies of proposal. In case details do not give full information about proposed methods of execution for which it forms part, proposal may be liable to be rejected. These are basics of what we have to see, how to mobilize, how to, you can say, how to schedule out. As we discussed before also, scheduling is very complex activity. It doesn't mean that everyone can do it. It's not only question of drawing bar charts or writing efficient activities. But to understand what sort of Gantt chart I can give in this activity. It could be simple format, but very expert format, you can say. Simple format doesn't mean it can't be very complex. It is complex, it can be very complex, and contents are complex actually, calculations are complex. Scheduler is very significant person who should understand all ins and outs of activities. It's not simply that I have learned PMP or I learned programming, I can do. I think it's a misconception. It's so machine-based construction and so much quantity-based construction, quality-based construction. It's only those persons who go through this, who understand this, can schedule out. It's not simply quantity you have to see. It's not simply specifications you have to see. It's not simply timings you have to see. It's not simply that some part you have to see, some part others would see. Your schedule has to understand project in its entirety. That is first requirement. Then also you have to find crossings with other people, other subcontractors or contractors. They cross with you. They should be given in line. And of course, documents are given to those engineers to study. But that time is given, it's too late. Without understanding all this, without culture of working, it's not simply quantity, or it's not simply machine requirement, or it's not simply what workforce you load. You have to take into consideration work culture in that area, what is other culture in that area, and what progress can be achieved in that area, which depends on not what happens in your country, that's different. But our country is also different. Our priority remains to do work according to government. So schedule are produced involving all sections, as I said. All sections and level 1 to level 5, so you have to have understanding of each and every master schedule, and this is detailed schedule, and this is equipment schedule, and this is workforce schedule, and this is elaborated schedule, and this schedule is something else for each building. All that we have to show, and this is combined for all building. All this must be there, and you do not forget that this schedule leads to budget. Whatever items are there, these items can be used for purpose of budgeting and estimating to manufacture. Then once we understand all this, we can move forward, we can research on that, and we can find the real answer. Sorry. Very first step in mobilization is, you can say, when we start some project, we have to mobilize that one. We call it mobilization, and if we close some project, we call it demobilization. So mobilization and demobilization are two standard terms. When we start some project, we have to mobilize, and we have to close some project, means we have to demobilize. So what is mobilization? Means we have to start work. We have to go to site. That person who is going to be responsible for this work, from contractor and from client both, they go to site and show to each other where site is, which is scope, area or battery limit of site. What they have to do, that contract tells, they briefly tell, they can discuss which area can be used for purpose of temporary works, purpose of storage, purpose of accommodation, and if there is no place in that area for purpose of people to stay or facilities to be provided, then it's requested find out this area, or an alternative area is given or suggested that you can establish your temporary works, your activities to support this project permanent works. That can be camp, workers camp, you can say staff accommodation, you can say a kind of living arrangement for people, for food, for sleeping, and for all facilities required, because this project may go for 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, whatever it is, or some other area is available which can be used for that person, transportation service available or not, or service road is available or not, or access road we can call it, and if that road is not available and is part of scope of work, a route can be shown. This is a route where you can take from main road or from highway to this site. You can construct your road for this purpose, or if road is available, that's fine. Also, water is available or not. If it's not available, how you can arrange water. All this contractor knows, but even then, it is given just a kind of kick-off formality for contractor to know, and that manager or organizer to know, and that's what to say how to work on site, how to where you can form your yards, like carpentry yards or steel fixing yard or structural steel yard, or whatever workshop you need, or where are your lay down areas, where can you establish your site offices, or where can you establish site offices for consultants or site offices for owner, and where can you establish site offices for subcontractors, suppliers, like that. Which are emergency areas, where can you say your offices for safety people, quality people, and also where training can be given. All these are discussed, and where services could be problematic, underground services if existing at all, depending on if your project is brown project or green project. All this, and it's all a certain kind of mobilization. This is very important. This gives input to your startup project. If you are fast in mobilization, because generally 1 month period is allowed for mobilization, to some extent that you can start your project activities, and that 1 month period is not very long one, but not very short one also. If you are well ready, if you are planned, if you have done work while submitting your bid, you have done homework, and some, we can say mobilization is very big activity, very powerful activity, but very small duration activity. If it's projects for 2 years and 1 month only, you are given mobilization, and likewise you have to include this activity along with demobilization activity. Both can be combined together. So very first step to get into stage of physical establishment for construction is mobilization. Site is taken over is mobilization, and all transfer stations are established using available satellite records, a part of mobilization. Surveying department commences for establishment objectives, it's also part of mobilization. Approvals are obtained from authorities concerned from engineer client is also mobilization part. Applications are made for obtaining record drawings from statutory services authorities, if so required, is also a part of mobilization. Applications are also made to operating authorities for issue of all record drawings, if so required. For permits is also part of mobilization. Permit to work PTO-based call is required prior to commencement of an excavation. As hot and cold works area is also called part of mobilization. No excavation is allowed to projects until these permits are obtained, and particularly in those areas which are authority areas, operating areas, where operating plants are located, and this is also part of mobilization. For application of works of staff permit, Documentation is carried out giving details about applied works, official award letter, the availability of safety officers, full-time supervisors, and method statements, etc. Then application is considered. Fencing is also part of mobilization. Fencing is rejected. Establishment of temporary camp and offices are affected according to engineer approved plans and method statement. Fencing is erected. This is also part of mobilization. And all arrangements for accommodation, for personal sanitary facilities, water supply for drinking as well as for washing purpose, electrical and air conditioning, firefighting, access to camp, security, messing, sewage treatment plant, leisure areas, common rooms, sports courts, parking, swimming pool, local shops, etc. required by contractor and temporary facilities that contractor engineer deems necessary should be provided also to constitute parts of mobilization. Similarly, site offices you can say establishment should also be constructed according to site establishment approvals, plans and permit to work obtained before commencing work for site establishment offices also constitute part of mobilization. All provisions of utilities should be made according to contract engineer and contract requirements constitute part of mobilization. Site office should also start functioning on or before appointed date according to program of mobilization is also part of mobilization. It should be kept in view that some agreed percentage of payment should be released when mobilization is completed and work can be commenced with, and that's operated. That can be applied for by contractor and claim that pay me this much, and according to contractors provided it shall be paid. Mobilization also includes develop deployment of required manpower, workforce, the machinery and supervisory, construction, safety, planning and engineering as well as administration staff without loss of time is also a part of mobilization. This deployment accelerates procedures on commencement of job in beginning and time may be gained to keep in line with program. Smart and efficient project managers and leaders, engineers understand this aspect very well, keeping very efficient at this stage as additional efforts are required to commence the kick-off project. And running project may not be that difficult. Running project may not be that difficult. To push, but starting streamlining all departments operations demand efficiency and hard work. Site offices require full-fledged modern computerized facilities for fast interactions and communications, internet, telecommunications, conferencing, sanitary, water supply, drinking water dispenser, refreshments, electrical supply, standby generators, and heat, ventilation, and air conditioning. First aid, ambulance, doctor for immediate attention with nurse assistants and well-established site cleaning all constitute part of mobilization. Site offices require full-fledged stores, warehouses, mechanical and auto maintenance and repair workshops, vehicular support, vehicles, equipment, parking areas, labor, temporary shelters for lunch and tea, etc., as well as for rest pauses necessary under safety management organization for prevention of safety. It's all part of vehicular equipment and parking areas, labor, temporary shelters for lunch or tea as well as for rest pauses necessary under safety regulations, safety management organization for prevention of heat stroke and environment attack during hot working hours. And these are very important points that we have to discuss, and you can say what we discuss here is all related to work and must be taken care of. Mobilization is very important not only from this point of view, from every point of view, because 1 month mobilization means 6 months preparation, you can say. It's not easy. It looks that we have to mobilize in 1 month, but practically speaking, it can't be. It can't be. Because everything takes time. You have to buy materials, you have to invite quotations. It's not one material or other material. You have to be sure about your project. You get odds risk factor. It's not one part of understanding. There are so many ways. Or you want to shift your ending project or your completion project, which is at completion stage. You want to transfer material from there, and you need new people also, or you may like to transfer people from other projects. So it's not, you can say, kick out in one day. It is contracting, it is project, it is manufacturing, it is risk. Means you have to live in a world of you know you have to live in a world of very complex arrangement to start a new project. Everything cannot be called too easy. It's factored, and we must be very careful about that point. We'll continue this talk later, and now, because it's already enough time, more than 3 hours, I think. I'm not very fast these days, because I want people should understand what is right, what is wrong, and I want to take time to let them understand very well. Because running fast doesn't mean I can take 5 hours also. But I realize that, first of all, it's problematic for me to sit continuously for 4 hours or 5 hours, and people don't like that long talk, because it is very boring talk. I'm talking boring subject. I'm not talking poetry. I'm not talking jokes. So I'm not entertaining you at all. It's a permanent job I'm doing, because it's on media. This can be seen until this media works. This can be linked to this can be linked to LinkedIn also. I try to link all these talks, URLs to LinkedIn, as well as to Structural Engineering from India, and also Twitter. So those people may get opportunity to look into. It's from that viewpoint. I know on Facebook it may not be that much successful, because Facebook is common media, very few engineers there, and they may not be interested. That's a different point. But there's no other media, there's no such facility on LinkedIn, and there's no such facility on other websites where you can give video. Either you have to go to YouTube, or if I go to YouTube, I can't there's no privilege to share screen. You can talk, you can give video, but you must have multimedia arrangement where you only then you can be successful there. I tried there, but I could not do it. So this document share is some facility. They've also restricted it, Facebook people. I don't know what happens, but no problem. Whatever can be given them, because I want to give reference in this text. But there's a limit now. There was no limit before, now there's a limited one. So no problem. We can just maintain whatever it is. Now I'm closing this part, guys, because I hope that I'm putting a little talk of COVID also in between, sandwich talk, because it's very critical. The time is very critical. We cannot exclusively depend on technical talks. First, life is important, and if life is not important, if we don't care about COVID impact, if we don't live in this world, we die. People are dying, thousands of people are dying every day. What news come don't depend on this. Thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe 10,000, 15,000 persons are dying every day, and millions of people are infected every day. So if we can be one part of that, I can be that one. So who knows what happens tomorrow? It's better We have to be prepared. Just like we think of quality and quantity, we have to think of life as well. This is I close this one. Thank you very much. I stop sharing now.